All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. What's today's topic? Okay, out at the club, when all of us got together, we were talking about different ways for rust removal. And everybody does this differently, from using the molasses concoction, vinegar, and I mean, there's lots of different methods out there. And I tried a lot of those, and I had varying results. I'm not going to tell you that they don't work. They do. But like I said, it wasn't really working all that satisfactory to me. Now, I went ahead, I'm going to show you, and it's on sale right now, Evapo-Rust. Okay, so you saw the advertisement, and I'll put it up again, a little bit later in the video and the links below. It is on sale right now. It's a great thing to go ahead and buy and just have it around for upcoming projects or something down the road, especially now, while it's on sale, unless you know of another source you can get it cheaper. Now, there's ups and downs about all this stuff. Somebody goes, why use PB Blaster? That seemed to, help derust things. I've used it on small stuff. It works okay. I don't know, CLR. No, CLR works good for like the shower heads and decalcifying things like, in the bathrooms and your faucets and your shower heads and things like that. I've had good luck with CLR by soaking them. It does remove the calcium, let's say. As far as rust, I didn't like it, so I would say no. What about naval gel and strippers? They work to varying degrees, and they work really well on certain things, on certain projects, let's say. What I did and what I found, there's a lot of criticism on Evapo-Rust, but I think people have unrealistic expectations, okay? They say, well, you put it in a spray bottle, and I sprayed it on, and it didn't do anything. It's not really meant for that. It's meant for where I've had my best luck with it is actually soaking them for overnight or, maybe closer to 24 hours. I get like a little bin. You can buy them up at the dollar store. And, I put the Evapo-Rust in there, and I go ahead with all the small parts and stuff, and I throw them all in there, and I just let them soak. I just leave them there. Then when I pull them out in a day or so, I clean them off. You don't have that super dark gray, kind of a film you got to wire brush off or stuff. I just hit these real lightly depending on the degree of rust. They come very clean. I think it's a decent product, and it works well in a lot of situations. Now, of course, not every single situation. Some of them you're going to have to get in there with like a cup wheel on a 4.5-inch angle grinder or whatever, or some other means if something's rusted really bad. But Evapo-Rust has a place, at least in my shop. For stuff like that where I can just throw them in there. It's like soaking parts or whatever, and I just leave it alone, pull it out, clean them up. Stuff works great. Okay. On the question and answer side, somebody said, well, if you have a tub of it, how long does it last? I don't know. You'll know when it stops working and then throw it out. I would tell you 2 or 3 times if you want a rough estimate. Okay, another question out at the club was, well, if I buy a gallon of it, if I want to make it last, can you cut it down? Can you, water it down kind of? And I said, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. Not at all. Somebody else read, hey, I hear it's really good for, like radiator flushing. And I said, well, I wouldn't do that. I don't know what it's going to do to the gaskets and seals, throughout the automobile. So there are other products meant for radiator cleansing. I would not say or suggest you using this. If somebody else has done it, you can drop it in the comment below, but it's not something I would suggest. All right, somebody out at the club brought in a knife where they had soaked it in Evapo-Rust for 24 hours or more, and it turned into super dark gray. It looked like crap, and wondering what to do about it. Okay, soak it back in the Evapo-Rust for a while. Take it out, take steel wool, and scrub it. It will come out incredibly clean looking. We did it. It worked. Now, does it prevent rust from returning? No, it doesn't. Now, I had, it was a drill press, and the base of it, the base part of it was super bad with rust. So I kept wetting it, and I kept it wet. Made sure it got soaked real well, cleaned, and when I got it really clean, here's the point. I, use like a spray lubricant, like even if you use WD-40, and I wipe it down real well. I mean, I wipe the hell out of it. And then I put a coat of Johnson's paste wax on there. Again, I'll leave you the link below. I use Johnson's paste wax on my bandsaw tabletop, the ways on my lathe, the drill press tabletop part of it, my table saw. I mean, anything like that in my shop, I always put a coat of Johnson's paste wax on it. That's my rust preventative. It works real well. I maintain it every 4 to 6 months. Takes moments to do, just part of shop maintenance, really. Will it clean copper? No, I don't think it'll clean it. You know, try using ketchup, or there's another product, I'll try to leave it in the link below. It's called Bartender's Keeper's Helper. I use that on a brass copper antique restoration, like lampshade kind of a thing. It worked fantastic. The ketchup, I'm told, works real well. That's probably in your refrigerator. Bartender Keeper Helper works great on a lot of things. I've got it under the sink, you know, in the kitchen, but it worked fantastic on that. And I used a toothbrush. I just made like a paste out of it, and I'd sit and scrub it on, and I would rinse it off. It came really, really clean. There's another comment about using white vinegar. Well, whether you used white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, molasses, muriatic acid, which I think begins to actually start to corrode, you know, the metal, at least when I used it. So I didn't particularly like using it. Naval gel, Loctite makes them. I mean, different people make naval gel. Naval gel I had varying luck with. I mean, again, I think this depends. You cannot, like I said, the big criticism is people that try to spray or just like spritz this stuff on and expect it to do magic, and then they tell you the product is crappy, don't buy it, it's just total junk, and all this negativity. I think it depends on how you're using it, truthfully. If you use it the way that I'm telling you, where you can allow a part to soak, you're going to be surprised. Now, what I do is I clean, like when I took one of these apart here, or with any restoration, whether it was one of the Jeeps I was doing before I sold them, or the utility trailers, if you take the part and I clean all the grease and all the oil off of it first, then, or nuts and bolts, whatever, and then soak this stuff for the period of time, like I told you, overnight or close to 24 hours, take it out, and then you can wash them, they will clean right up. For me, it's always worked really well. Not in every single situation, but I don't do it, I mean, the way that some of these people are doing it. I don't think you're using the product correctly. I mean, that's my advice. If you're going to want to spray it on and hose it off and think, hey, it's going to work like, phosphoric acid or something, you're in for a disappointment. Don't even bother. I mean, so use it correctly. I think it works great. Besides steel wool, have I used anything else? Well, I use a super coarse 3M pad. They're usually red in color. They're very abrasive. Those work really well, like on a larger flat surface, or maybe even like a knife blade or something. I would tell you that those work, I mean, great. Will it hurt wood? No, it won't hurt the wood at all. Like on the handle of a knife or something like that, or just wood in general, I haven't noticed where it seems to bother wood at all. What about the knife blade? Okay, so back to the knife blade, because somebody's asking a question, how to prevent it from re-rusting. Well, if it's in your kitchen, you probably don't have to worry about it, but if you're concerned, after you've cleaned it off really well and you've steel wooled it real well, just put a coat of olive oil on it, wipe it, there you go. That'll prevent it too. I mean, all of my good kitchen knives, my super sharp ones, I mean, I always keep like just a little rub or whatever of, whether it's vegetable oil or olive oil. It's usually olive oil, and I don't worry about it. I mean, to answer your question. Okay, folks, this was just a quick tip because I noticed it was on sale. Again, let me show you the advertisement, and remember the links below. All right, I hope you click subscribe, keep following me. If you know something better out there that's worked for you, or a technique and something else that's worked better for you, share it with the rest of us. Drop it in the comment below. But yes, I've used all these other products, varying degrees of success. I mean, I like the Evapo-Rust, especially now that it's on sale, because I'll keep it around here. And like I said, small containers. This long shaft here, I went to the dollar store. I got a tube that had a feather duster in it, took the feather duster out, filled the tube up with Evapo-Rust, turn around and set that shaft down in there and let it sit overnight. So that way I'm not using a whole bunch, of the fluid, but still, you're in this long cylindrical container, and I was restoring both of these at the same time, and that worm drive, I needed to soak it. It worked great, got every bit of rust off of there, cleaned it up. Of course I washed it off, dried it off real well with a blowgun, re-greased it, started the reassembly. But, for me, if you use it the way I'm telling you, I think you'll have good luck with it. There's nothing wrong with the naval gel. The one that I used did come from Loctite. Again, I'll leave you the link below. It works good also on things that you can't soak. With the naval gel on the trailer flips and the Jeep, restoration flips that you've seen me do, where I couldn't get to something that I could soak, because somebody said, well, can't you just take a rag, soak Evapo-Rust, and keep it really damp and on that part? I suppose you could. I didn't have good luck with that. I had better luck with the naval gel. So naval gel, Evapo-Rust, those are the two that have always worked for me. To each their own. Maybe something else worked better for you. Okay, those are my thoughts. Those are the conclusions from out at the club. I hope you keep following me. I'll see you on the next video. You folks have a great day. Bye-bye.